What's up, you guys? It's T from the Universal Language Group again. Hope everyone's having a great day. I definitely know I am because you decided to take some of your time to watch our video. I know I say it every time, but I really do appreciate you being here. This message has changed my life, and I feel like it can help change yours too. So every person really does help. Before we get into the big stuff, I want to discuss the name of the channel and how it came to exist. The universal language came to me in a C5 meditation, along with a symbol that's now our logo. The symbol stands for love, and in our language can be said as nkosne. The concept of the universal language came from how these beings were able to communicate with not just each other, but also with me in a way I could understand them, and they could understand me. Even though most of them don't know English and we certainly can't understand their languages. I'll go more in depth on that in another video though. As we said before though, our universe is a lot bigger and more complex than we can imagine for now. And how we connect with our universe is more magical than we give ourselves credit for. For those who aren't familiar with what CE5 is, it's a form of meditation. It's been around for a long time and was recently made popular by Dr. Stephen Greer. If you haven't checked him out, I highly recommend you look him up. During these meditations, you get yourself to a calm meditative state to where you can project your consciousness into the universe to hopefully contact these ET beings telepathically, as we would call it. To them, that's just how they speak. The one thing though I don't want people to do is assume these ETs are like us in the sense that in order to function they must inhabit bodies and are bound to these bodies in a physical sense like we are. These ETs on a consciousness evolutionary scale are much more advanced than us and can exist in almost a pure energy form. And by raising or lowering their vibration, they can shift into different dimensions. That's why a lot of UFOs can be seen in one place only to disappear within a blink of an eye. That craft is still there, just shifted into another dimension at a higher frequency, making it invisible to our third dimensional, lower vibrating eyes. Just like the Flash is able to walk through walls by vibrating at the same resonance as what he's trying to go through. It's a very similar concept. I know this sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but like I said, our universe is a lot more advanced than we know. For the first month and a half, I'd say, of trying these meditations, I wasn't successful at all and was starting to get pretty discouraged. The thing that got me back into it, I'd say, was pretty cool though. I was looking at the stars one night when on the horizon I saw a pulsating ball of red light that was still, then slowly started moving to the side. My first thought was that it had to be a helicopter because of how low and slow it was moving. They usually move in that way. And after going out there every night, I had a good sense of what planes, satellites, meteors, and other sky phenomena look like. But this one was a little different. It appeared to be made of pure light, and no matter which way it moved, the brightness and concentration of light coming from the craft never changed, as it would normally do on a helicopter. After looking at this ball of light for a few minutes, I remembered I had my binoculars downstairs, so I rushed to get them before this thing went away. But by the time I got back, the craft was too far to see in any sort of detail, and a few moments later it completely disappeared. I was disappointed I didn't get back in time to see the craft, but I was still excited because I had just seen something that I couldn't explain. After that, I kind of went back to just watching the sky. But this craft was still on my mind. And while I was laying there, the thought came to me, try and call it back, why not? I honestly thought I was just being desperate, wanting to see it again, but I just went with my gut, closed my eyes, and put the image of what I just saw in my head, calling it back, trying to say, if whatever I just saw was an ET, can you please come back to show us again? Just so I know it was actually you and not a helicopter. I repeated that 3 more times, adding the idea and image of my location right after. When I opened my eyes, of course, I was expecting to see it right there, not really understanding how this whole CE5 thing worked. But of course it wasn't, and I thought to myself, it was worth a try, why not? And just went back to watching the stars. I'd say it wasn't even a minute later when I saw something flash into my peripheral, and when I looked, you guessed it, the giant red orb was back in almost the same location in the sky as it was just a few minutes ago, but this time moving in the opposite direction. I grabbed my binoculars, and when I looked at the craft, as it got further and further, it began making these strange maneuvers in the sky, darting right up and straight down until it got too far to see and disappeared again. Still in disbelief of what had just happened, I kind of just sat there in excitement. It shocked me and showed me that these beings are listening and had heard me this whole time, and everything I've been studying about CE5 was true and doable. They were just waiting for me to either be ready or ask in the right way. That was a big catalyst for me. That made me want to try again in more depth, which is where my other experiences come in, but that's for another video. I know a lot of people will think this is bull or that I'm making it up, and that's fine, but my point in saying this is that this stuff is real. We aren't alone in this universe, and as we go on, you'll realize that not being alone is our least concern, and we have a lot more important things to consider. In my next video, I'll be talking about another encounter I had with a few of these species of ETs and what they were able to show me in seconds that literally changed my life forever. This encounter set me on the path that I'm on right now. If you think this experience is interesting or even just a little cool, know that you can do this, and it gets a lot more interesting. These beings are here to help elevate us to the next level of consciousness. Our goal is to be where they are, and in helping us, it allows them to learn certain lessons that'll help them reach their next level, and the cycle continues. I'll link the documentary that first sparked my interest in CE5 in the description. But for now, if you enjoyed this and are interested in what's to come, drop us a like and subscribe. It would mean a lot to us. I know I keep saying it, but it really does. With that though, remember to keep an open mind, stay positive, and stay loving, because we're all a part of this crazy experience of life together. Welcome to the universal community in Cosmic.